What's up? Kareem, KAA, Ka, back again for you. Thanks for watching. So that some people did watch my videos. If you like it or not, I just don't know. Doesn't matter. Important is that some people had interest in it. So today I want to speak about something else that actually is going around in everybody's life, and a word that is really crucial when it comes to understanding why something happens, why the universe is infinite, and so on. So, the word is observe. Now, we can go on and say that serve is inside, right? But I'm not want to talk about serving because that's coming later. But serve, everybody serves somebody. You serve your country, you serve your company, you serve, a mother serves the child or their children, and so on. Everybody serves somebody because that's what actually in the Vedic scriptures is stated. Everybody serves somebody. So why not serve the Almighty or the universe, which is the root of it, and you water the tree from up to everything that exists? When God is in everybody, or the universe is the source of every one of us. So when I water, or when I pray to God, or when I serve the universe, I just give it to everybody. So I serve everybody. That's why I said in the last video, with no limitations, I'm your servant. Uh, when you observe, it's different than when you look at something. Right now, I don't look into the camera. I observe the camera. I see the light is on. I know it's recording, and so on. If you just look at it, you see the structure of it, and nothing more, or you just keep going on. But when you go deeper, then you start to observe not only the structure, you start to ask yourself, why does it look like that, or what's the function, and how does it work, what kind of electric parts are there, how does the the current or the energy, where does it come from, how does it inside, and so on. You can go on into details. We would discuss for hours about that. But the important thing is that you understand to observe, because when you observe, you have knowledge, because this is not only information that you get from somewhere, it is your own perspective. Now, there is where it comes to the definition, or maybe let's just say, to get specific, when you observe is going to be your subject, or your view is going to be a subject to you. You're not objective. We can't be objective if we are just right now in this material world and not aware of everything that exists. I mean, we feel the air, but we can't see the wind. We know the universe exists, but we can't see it. We see the world. We see the planet. Of course, it's a part of the universe, and it's the universe itself in another form. But outside, we won't just grasp that. So, to observe is to analyze something deeply that you can understand it better. And like I said before, when you give it to your spirit, it will enhance all that understanding and bring you the conclusion on the end of it. Because the conclusion is that everything that exists has its purpose. When I started to do these videos, I told you that when I said I don't like all this technology and stuff, it means like we have to use it wisely, because if you use it wisely, I can speak right now to the world. This is the age we are living in, okay? This is what even Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said. We are living in the age where we can travel from here to there in no time. You couldn't imagine that back in the days when they had horses. Okay? Not to mention the higher civilizations, because they travel completely different than we do now, in harmony with the universe and the planet, because of course, to build limits or borders is just a protection. Or let's just say some people in the early days with the natives of America, they had their tribe and everybody had their territory because they were born in this environment. They knew better than others what is there, and they were in harmony with this specific area, with this devotional spot, like I was talking about Phoenix. Uh, and the borders, they were just there for not for stopping other people. When you come to the border, please show me your passport, now you can pass. No, it wasn't like that. Are you ready to enter this area without that you get hurt? Because you are not gonna hurt the place where you step into. You know what I mean? We step into this world, we pollute the earth and everything, but you are not polluting the earth, you're polluting yourself. The earth existed millions of years and even trillion of years. This is what you have to observe. Because when you observe the planet, you see that it will always clean itself again. And that's where I come back to that when I say that the stars will interfere if we continue the way we are. Imagine, we have things going on in the world that is nature is responding with tsunamis and all that stuff. And even now, let's go to the conspiracy theories. Even if they build technologies that can create tsunamis, just let's just say artificially, that is not the planet doing it. Like I told you, the universe is always coming through. So it is a force of nature. But they maybe when it's artificially put it on others. So don't worry, karma is always there. But when something happens straight out of nature, a destruction, is to build again. I know innocence life get lost, and I'm sorry for that. I can't stop the planet. If I could speak clearly to Mother Earth, what I'm doing at the moment when I meditate, I'm asking for forgiveness for what we are doing. Because this is something we take it for granted that we are here. We think we can destroy things from Earth without any consequences. This is nothing because it's not working. Everything you do and everything you think and everything you speak of has its consequences. That this is like action reaction. So, but it's the meaning behind it. So back to the Native Americans. So when you stepped into the area, they were just checking, are you ready to enter without hurting yourself? Because like I said, we are not hurting Mother Earth. We are disrespecting her because we can't hurt Mother Earth. She's too strong. It's like you have just to imagine how heavy a truck is. We have here trucks in Switzerland. In America, you have larger ones, and in Australia too. How heavy they are. And now you take all that weight, but the Earth is still floating into space, so you can't hurt Earth. It's just a being higher than you, and we don't stand a chance against it. Okay? Just physically. Spiritually is another thing. Is where you just give up before you even start to do something. Because Mother Earth is there to, she's nourishing us, even if we pollute and everything, we still have food, Even if you are into genetics and all that stuff, you can create food that's gonna be healthy for you. It's coming out of the earth, out of the darkness of the earth. Back to the darkness, for some people to understand that darkness isn't something bad or evil. the nature is wild. You know, you see it with peppermint. When you have peppermint in a garden, you will see it will spread all around. This is nature. It is wild, and you can't stop it. This is the universe. It's wild. You're wild. And if you observe that, you come to the conclusion that you're wild too, but you are in a system where you need to behave. Right, of course. If we're all going wild, we're gonna hurt each other like we're doing right now. But to be wild, like wild again, is the word, is the meaning behind it, but it depends how you use it, the word wild, or how you accept the word wild, as you just balance it. And being balanced with that, being wild, being centered, being equivalent, and all that stuff, if you take it in, you will see that, like I said, every word is connected with each other. You know, like wild, the opposite of it, if somebody is not wild, it is something that is, you know, like really I I know there be in dictionaries other words like the really opposites of wild, but for me wild is non-wild. You know what I mean? You have violence and non-violence. We don't have to go too far. So there is always a none, you know. None is N-O-N, but if you write it differently, you have a none like from the Christian order. You know, this is what I mean. So everything, you can, like, you know, go around everything, explain things, but back to observe. And to the Native Americans, the borders were there just to say, are you ready to enter this area without that you hurt yourself? Because we don't want to be responsible if you get hurt, or in the end of the process your physical body will perish and you have to be recycled again because you didn't learn the lesson. So now we're coming into restriction. You know, you see how everything is connected. So from observing that we have borders or limits, it is just because for our safety. So you can't fly right now in this society, because if we could fly, we would have war in heaven too, or in the sky. So we could travel other planets, but right now we don't have that technology. And even if we would, we go to other planets and we start it like we have already a movie, the Star Wars. And believe me, the universe always has its civilization according to its principle, never going straight left or right, going to the principle, always in harmony. And from that civilization, other civilization rise. You can call it the heaven. Let's just say in a Vedic culture is called Krishna Loka. It's Vrindavan. It's the paradise. It's where everything is in order with the universe, with the Almighty. So from there we have all these others. Let's just call it brothers and sisters spreading to the universe, because it's infinite. You know, you can go walk this way, you will never come from the other side. Like if I walk now west or east, that I come on again on the same spot if I crossed it one time. No, you just keep walking far, far away, and you will never stop too, because the universe is infinite. It will collapse again and expand more. So what I want to say is that you need to understand that observing will bring you more knowledge about the universe, about yourself, about your environment, about politics, about mathematics, biology, everything, you know. I could study that right now, but it is the simple thing that is important in life. And you need to see that when you observe, you will feel something deep inside of you that will show you. Sorry, I got tears right now because I'm a crier, like somebody else said on the YouTube channel. When I cry, I have a lot of energy coming out. And it's not because I'm sad or because happiness. I can't explain that word because it's a feeling. It's like, I'm telling you straight, it's infinite power. And don't think that I'm just saying that people that can't cry are less value. Like I'm saying, it's like if you observe, you will see that to the ability to cry comes from feeling something. And there we're going back to Babylon. And if a baby was alone, it cried. Nobody was there, and it cried. And if you don't stop that, if you have a child and you know it's crying, you're going to watch after it. You don't want your baby to cry. You want to be happy. But when it cries because it needs something. It's the only way they can express. So the baby in Babylon was alone and nobody was there for it. So when you do something over and again without that you get somebody like to stop you, let's just say to comfort you, or to make you understand that you're not alone or that you have the love, then you know that this being will go on into this state till it goes immune of it. It's like you're doing something, like you like a song and you listen to the song every day for 1 year. I'm promising you, you will have a short time after that 1 year that you can't listen to that anymore, because you need the dynamics. You can't listen to something over and over again. So it's the same with the baby. The baby will cry until there's no more crying and the feelings are gone, because nothing is coming back. This is something like if you observe it in relations we have with each other around the world. If you give somebody something and he gives you nothing in return, but he's still your friend, you still go and he gives nothing in return, but at the same time somewhere else things is coming back to you. But that individual can't do that because it didn't learn it. So you assume then, why shall I be still this friend? He's not giving me nothing, so I will stop the relationship. This is like a natural instinct if you don't observe right. It's when you lack of observance. Because when you observe something, you will learn that maybe, or you just start to think, let's think about his father, his mother, if you knew them. And when you think about them, don't judge them again, because they have their history and so on. This is always what I want to say to you in all my videos that will follow and so on. Don't judge, because like I said, when you judge, you're going to limit God. It is the observance, the observer that can decide about his reality. You are the creator of your own reality. So when you observe, you see a pattern of yourself. If you want to accept it or not, your subconscious mind is already spraying that, like Jehu the Dama just said. His mind spray. You can come with your Uzis and your 9, but my mind spray. You know what I mean? This is really metaphysical. You have to understand it. Some people are not ready for it, and I don't judge them. I still love them because they are going to be the future for another generation. They are meant for something else. Everybody has its purpose, and this comes from observing the universe too. Everything you have in the universe has its purpose. You have a towel. What can you do with the towel? There is not only one purpose, okay? The purpose is infinite. I can take a towel when I come out of the shower to dry myself. I can take a towel like children when they play to have a cape, to fly around like a superhero. I can do a lot of stuff with the towel. So observe will bring you more and more understanding of the universe and its inner structure. Okay? Instructor. Instruction. It's always coming not from Babylon, it is coming from Zion. You know? Zion, if you flip it and you put a knee on it, what you got? Noise. Okay? It's sound. And this is something you have to understand in all religious beliefs, in every religion, in every culture. There are a lot of, let's just say, teachings, but for the first time you take it, it's information. Okay? This is what you have to understand. Because these are facts that came from higher, let's just say, higher consciousness. Let's just not mention the people that had that consciousness. But like KRS-One said once in his song, if you knew that the universe is with you, when you know this, then you know that a higher consciousness is with you, and you can connect to that. You can interact with it. It doesn't matter how bad you were in your last time, or what you did yesterday, or you can't stop doing something bad that you already know. I can't stop it. Talk to the universe, because you are not crazy. The universe is listening. It's just in this society that the people limit themselves and saying, if I talk to myself, people say I'm crazy. I don't care what other people say. This is the problem when I was with my ex-girlfriend. She said, like, your mother always brings the laundry. I don't like that. People look at you, you are 30, but your mother is still doing your laundry. I said, I can do my laundry myself. I did that before, and I'm doing it right now again. But it was like something that my mother liked to do. It is something that she loved to do. Not only like Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said, like. It's just that you can like somebody that is beating you, but you can love somebody, because love is greater than like. You know that God loves them too, because otherwise it wouldn't exist. Okay? Because love is that what creates. You know that exactly if you observe nature, if you observe human beings, if people come together and they love each other. And no matter how far sexual intercourses are without love, somewhere there is something. Love has no limit. There are just different levels. Now we come into that again. This is not about categories. This is just levels. Like you have a biology master. I say master, not teacher, because a teacher is a master. If you look at KRS-One, it's a master, it's a teacher. It's a master teacher. So you have a biology master, you have a mathematician, you have a chemistry master, you have all these masters. Okay? And these masters, they can tell you from what they take in, from their skills. Everything. They can tell you anything. Is where it starts with observance. When you see that there is a higher consciousness, it's not about the individual who is the master. It's about the consciousness behind it, who explains to the individual what is what, the deeper understanding of it. Because I'm sure you already had this experience. When you look at something, you can go like, talking again to somebody, and then he said, did you see that? Did I see what? And he said, but you just, oh no, I didn't see that. I didn't realize it. Because you just looked at it. You know, last time I was outside, it was yesterday. In the evening, I do after my dinner, I do my tea. I go outside, put the cup on the floor. My mother was smoking. She changed the chair because I don't like the smoke in my face. So you see, this is something somebody serves too, because she knows I don't like it. So he goes, and there he goes, the piece. Even if I would like that she stopped smoking, but that's another subject. And I just put it on the floor, and then we start talking. And after a while, she said, "Now you're going inside. Now you're going back in and do some tea, like you always do." And I said, "But the cup is already there." Oh, didn't see it. You see, but when I passed, I was in front of her with the cup of tea. She saw the cup in her sight. It was already, when we're just talking about that side, her, let's just say, her subconscious already saw that when I was doing the tea. But that's a little bit too far. Let's just go, I was in her sight, she saw it with her eyes. But on the end, she asked me and she didn't see it. So everything, like in German we have the saying that something that is out of your sight will come out of your senses. You will forget about it. Something that you put somewhere, not consciously, just say, I'm going to put that here, I'm going to find it anyway. Don't take it for granted. You are not going to find it anyway if you don't respect the energy behind it. Okay? And this is what is about to be observed, that everything has its energy. We have all different types of energy nowadays, but they're based on a very low principle. I'm not judging the current state of what we have. I'm just laying the facts that is polluting the earth. Is like you are hurting yourself because you pollute the air that you are breathing, and you breathe it in and you get sicknesses of it because you are not in harmony with the universe. Now let's go back. But when you are aware of all that and you're connected to the higher source, you are immune to that. Okay? And when you observe that different types of energy we have, you know that everything is made out of energy. Okay? Because when you go into physics, you have the nucleus, and I put that on my vocabulary too. DNA, our DNA, divine nucleus architecture. Okay, it's an architecture of the nucleus. You know, the one thing that is in the genetics, the one thing that makes you the being that you are right now. This is the material genetic. But genetic information is not only passed on materially in the physical, it goes beyond. I recommend you really to watch some documentaries from Michael Julius Tellinger from the Ubuntu movement. He will tell you that you can transfer through light biological information. And there is no doubt about it. But we need to understand it through. Not only I can point a ray of light or whatever source of energy on something and transfer, but you need to do it consciously. Not only doing it for test reason, because if you do something, of course you always have to test something. This is our nature, because we don't want to fail. Like I just started this video before I started it. I checked if the mic is on and everything, because I'm talking like maybe 1.5 hours. After that you can hear me. Well, at least you see me explaining with my hands and laughing maybe, what the hell, you see that? He just put his video on YouTube and you can't hear him. But I'm always checking before I put it on YouTube, and I hope that the technology is working with me, not against me. So uh, observe back. This is really deep, you know. I mean, if we start uh, to learn to observe, like now you say, what should a blind man do? And now we're coming to our perception again. To observe is not only with your eyes, you observe with your feelings. You know what I mean? In the Vedic culture, they say that Krishna, he can look with his eyes and smell with his look with his ears and smell with his eyes. You know what I mean? And he can touch with his hair, and he can. You know, this is just uh, an example that God is infinite, and we can achieve the same thing if we don't limit ourselves. We need to go back to the source of it, okay? If you are an atheist, I really can say that you're not wrong, because as long as you believe in yourself, you just have the thing to understand the universe. You don't have to say God. Like I said, everybody has a different name for it, but it's a fact that that being, that energy exists. It is a fact. You can ignore it, but you will come and stumble again over it until you understand it. When we observe, we learn that we have mastered something, okay? It's like I'm doing something, okay? I'm doing right now this movie, this video, and I always watch it again at the whole length to understand if it's okay, if I can live with it, or even to learn from myself when I express. Because right now, what is talking through is not only me. Like I said, when I said that we are only tools, don't think that it is less value. Because to be a tool of God, just to say it in the material way, because on the end we are children of God, okay? And don't think that we are just tools like to be used and thrown away. Like I said, if somebody has an order and God has an order, then you know that you are appreciated. But you need to fulfill your duty, because you have rights, you have the right to live, and you have your duty. What is your duty? Okay, let's just talk a little bit about that in connection to the word observe. The duty to observe, just that it's enough. If you observe carefully, your duty is already done, because from observance you will learn. It's like they have satellites, they're studying us. But not only satellites, there are higher beings that you don't even see. They study us. And you need to understand that there are higher beings who are just interested in higher consciousness. So in this society we're right now, there are people waking up every day, and just saying, I can't do this anymore. I need some alternative, okay? The alternative is do what you like, do what you love. When you stand up in the morning, like when you're off, when you don't have to go to work, think about something that you like to do, and you can do that even after work. And see that the work that you're doing is to earn money. Now back to the money. Don't get attached to it. Take it as an energy that you get for doing something, and with this energy you can spread it out in the world and say, I see that money destroys a lot of things, that brings, greed and all that stuff. Let's bring another exchange system. Exchange. X is out and change out and in and everything. You can take money in, but you can take the energy in and transform it. But you have to understand that when you do that and when you observe the world, what is going on with the money, that there is blood on the money, to be metaphorical. You need to understand why there is this state of that the money is dirty. We call it dirty because of the history, because of tradition, because of organizations that on the end even, let's just say, ignore their own principles. Okay? So there is no need to judge them. There is just to take that, give it back out with love. If you just, oh man, that money is not worth. It's dirty, and I just pay things, and you get frustrated. You see so much people in older age, they are not happy. There are people, I don't say everybody, but most, the mainstream is like unhappy with their life when they get old. I'm not young anymore. I can have a beautiful woman. My wife is looking old. If you think like that, you ain't gonna be not at all happy. Everybody gets old. We need to live with that. Like I said, it is a mean to an end. And when you know that it's a mean to an end, the body, and that it will come back in a higher state, but it depends how you put your energy in it, you know that through observance, that the infinity, the circle is always there. But what Buddha did is to step out of it, not out of the infinity, into the infinity, because we are in the infinite circle of life by being reborn and reborn until we realize who we really are and what our purpose is. Back to the purpose. We have different purposes, but in every purpose, in every action you do contribute to the universe. You don't want to call it God, you don't want to call it universe. Contribute to your environment, because you can't deny that. You will have an environment. Everybody has an environment. In the physical body, in the spiritual body, there is always an environment. That's why this exists, but it's just, in Vedic culture, it's a reflection of it. This is when we come back to that high civilization, to that so-called paradise. And what is hell? The opposite of it. Well, hell is the opposite of it, where nothing works in order. Okay, so some people call it hell here, but I assure you it's not. And there are different people, there are different dimensions, because if you take it from the scientific view, you see that every individual, every human being has its dimension, has like width, length, and depth. We are just a 3D dimensional being. So we have this dimension, but this is just a body that can move right now through the physical reality we have. But there are other reality. I mean, reality has even a plural, but in the singular world, you already have the plural, reality. Real, because it exists. Something is real even if other people don't accept it. Jesus, he could heal, but people didn't want to believe until on the end he got crucified, and he died for that, because jealousy is something else. They didn't observe well. And that's why I'm saying we need to forgive, because their lack of observance. They didn't observe well. So when I say they, I don't say the enemy. I don't say the devil. I say our brothers and sisters, and even if they are extraterrestrial, who tells you that this body is your identity? Is the identity identical to your ideology? Ask yourself that. What is your ideology? And can you be an authority if you are not yourself? In your reality, yourself. So, to criticize is always easy, you know. It's like, he can do that better. Why he did it like that? You know, it's like a child. When a child will draw you something, there is no master like that born. Well, let's not get into that, but there are, I assure you that. But like myself, I wasn't born a master, and I'm still not a master. But if you start, I can't draw like other people do. This is their talent. Respect, mad respect. But everybody is an artist, is what I want to tell you. No matter you think you have no skills, you have an artist in you. You have something you're good at. And even if you're just good at being silent, it's mastering silence. And believe me, that is the highest of it, because you're going into meditation, you will hear yourself speaking. But anyway, so a child comes to you and it shows you the drawing. Hey, look what I drew. And you see all these lines. Maybe in the beginning, your rational mind can't see it, but your subconscious mind does see much more. The intention, the universe that is coming out of it. There is where is the psychology. I mean, if you have a child that draws only dark stuff, you need to give that more love. Because darkness is attracted from the light. So when the light will come, the darkness will not fight, because it can profit from it and transform like a butterfly. And there is where we start. The child's coming to you and saying, look what I drew. And you say, oh, that's nice. And then, but inside, do you really think it's nice? Give it more shot, give it more. It's beautiful. What is that? Ask it, because it's the designer of it. But when you just think these are just, some drawings, this is nothing, You just disrespect your own child, and it will feel that. So, to observe is to have the ability to serve. Just that easy. But what are these other two letters? O, B. B, O, be servant. O, be serve. Not servant, but be serve. Be served. So, when you serve, the universe is serving you back. Just in a different way. Krishna, he enjoyed, as though he is mentioned as the Almighty, it is said that he likes that devotees, those devoted to him, could be higher and teach him. Because he liked it. Because the devotee was to him something so deep. He appreciates that the people realize that he is a higher being. That he likes to be taught by them, because he saw that they have the knowledge, so he doesn't need to teach them anymore. It's like when you master yourself in a certain skill, and you can ask every master, nobody finishes to learn. Nobody. You always learn, and learn more, because the reality we're living in is infinite. It is infinite, but we limit it to an end. And it's good, because it goes back to its source and comes in a higher consciousness, in a higher state of mind, in a higher frequency. Call it as you want, in another form. So when we look and when we observe, we see the difference. And when we observe, we're coming to another subject that is called shape shifting, transformation, metamorphism. You know what I mean? When things change, there is a pattern in nature. You already see that. A shapeshifter exists already. It is the caterpillar that becomes a butterfly. So the word exists. So it's already there. Teleportation, telepathy, telekinetics, levitation, magic, everything. The word exists, so it's there. Okay? What we have to understand, what we do with it. I'm not gonna, if I could teleport myself around the world, I'm not going there to lay on the beach and having fun. No. Sorry for that. I'm not gonna teleport myself to have fun or going there and show off. No. There's a deeper reason, and even before I would teleport, I would ask for permission. This is where we're going back to the Native Americans. Are you ready to enter this area without hurting yourself? Yourself is not just you. There are other beings there. Are you ready for that? Because if you are in harmony with the universe will tell you exactly. And when I say tell you, don't mention words, feelings, symbols, intuition. Don't sin. Don't spiritually neglect your intuition. Spiritual intuition neglect. Don't neglect it. Because to neglect something, we know what comes out of it. Just, it happened a few weeks ago, I think. A mother in Italy let her child in the car. Now don't judge her. She was not aware of. It was hot. The child died. Rest in peace. You know what I mean? This is neglect. And what came out of it? She lost her child. So when you hear such things in the media, don't go and judge the perpetrator, or don't go and judge the one that did it or her. There is no need for that. Okay? Because she already has the loss of her child on her own conscience. So now when the society start to put on her the fingers, we ain't going nowhere. Because you're pointing at her, but at the same time, I assure you that something else is going to happen in your life, because the universe is not standing there and watching her cry while you accuse her of being selfish and so on. These are facts. But don't accuse. Give her the love that she needs, because she lost her child. And she will never do it again. I'm sure for that. The next time, if she has a child again, if she can come over the loss of it, and I'm sure the child already forgave her. So there is no need for us in society to judge that individual. This is what I mean when you limit God. You limit yourself. You limit the development of our civilization. Where do you want to go? Do you want to go that we have in 500 years the still energy that we have right now? And even if it's advanced, does it match or does it be in harmony with the planet we're living on? Because we are living on this planet as guests. You know what I mean? Like I said, when I say this is just a vehicle, I don't say that is, like just a tool. It's a means to an end. So I appreciate it, because after, we in this society, when we lose something, we're sorry. We start to miss it. So don't be sorry, be safe. Safe means appreciate it, And we are only guests on this planet, and we think that we own it, but we don't, because we own nothing. Own is something that is coming from the ego. When you identify yourself with your body, but the body isn't like, what it makes it living is the soul. Of course, it's that matter, but it's still energy. So that energy can affect you. The energy is the ego, but it's not bad. Like I said, don't misunderstand and don't mistake. Because if you say, well, then the ego is something stagnant, it is bad. No. To be stagnant is not bad. If you can be stagnant, you can earn money. There are some people, they're like statues, they get money for it. Not much, but it's paying the bill. If you live on the streets, you don't have to pay your rent. Here in the societies, most of the time, you know, you need a social number and so on. Well, you see, the system will come to an end because it's a mean to an end. But we need to focus on a better one, because the universe itself is already a system, an organization, because it's organized, really organized, because it has its order, its principle, its philosophy, and so on. All that, all these words, all these energies, they come from God. They come from the universe. See it as you want it. It comes from your environment. What is outside of you comes from inside of you. You are the creator of your own reality, and the creator rests in yourself and acts in yourself. And that's why it is important to observe. Because when you do observe, you will realize the pattern behind it. A pattern is really important for further development of your being, because there is always a pattern. Let's just take the pattern that we have at the moment. Everybody is born. After that he's born, he will immediately be registered. He will get a birth certificate, and so on. It will go to kindergarten. It will go to school. There is always a pattern. And the same way is how the universe works. This is just a reflection. The difference is if you are spiritual and not more incarnated. When you come into being because you are aware of all the energies that exist, and that you serve the universe because you want to contribute to your family, to your universal family. Universal. And when we say that, we need to see behind that word, because the universe is infinite. So there are infinite characters. And you need to love them all as you love your mother, your brother, your sister, your father, as you love yourself, or whatever you love most in this world, even if it's just a toy. Okay? You will realize that love will always be on the top of everything. Something that will hover always above you, because it won't let you down. We are in the world, it's dual. We have always opposites. It's the same thing in the universe. You have that. It's the material world, it's the physical world. When you go to spirituality, when you're gone, you're not more male or female, you're a being. Okay? So, when you are a being that has no left or right, let's just say like that, male or female, or dark and light, or maybe good and evil, then you just are. And from are or is, you have real with the L because it's love, R-A-R-E. Put the letters different. And then you take is. There just is. And you have with the L because love always hover over it, is real. You know? Is real. Because it is real. It is just a matter of your perception, or let's just go a little bit into how real are you? Are you authentic? Are you really living your purpose, or are you just doing nonsense that will never be something stable because it's not contributing to the universe or contributing to the community? Doesn't matter. We always have a community. We have that, okay? You have it online, you have it outside, you have the church communities, you have all that. And a community, the word unity is already in. And it's common that it's a unity. It's nothing new. It was always like that. We just lost our senses and ourself. We didn't know that the other guy last night who robbed somebody is our brother, but now we do, and what we do about it is like, oh my God, our brother, he sinned. No, he didn't sin. We need to see behind it. We need to see behind that. Why did he that? Of course, it's a sin, a spiritual intuition neglect, because his higher self, his subconscious, already told him for don't do it, don't do it. You know that. Your parents told you when you're small, don't do it, and tack, you did it and you burn yourself. But they told you. So there is always a higher understanding when you observe, when you go behind the scene, when you understand all that is going on right now in the world, be it political, be it revolutionary, be it doesn't matter where you go, in which area, you always have a purpose behind it. And no matter how dark it is, the light will always be there. Because when there is darkness, is what Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, you can see the stars. And it's true. Because in darkness we were born. And then came the light. This is what I remember from my birth. You can believe me or not, I still remember it. But people are afraid of the darkness because nowadays in the darkness bad things happen. Why? Because there is no order. And when there would be order, you can walk to the woods in the night and you can talk to the people that, not the people, sorry, the animals that are active at that moment, like owls or something. You can talk to them. And the owl is actually a symbol of wisdom. So that's what I'm saying. The owl, it's in the night. There are certain, just check yourself, there are certain people who like to live more in the night. And when it's getting daylight, they get tired. Well, we come back to the movies of vampirism. You see? That doesn't mean you're a vampire, but it's like you're more attracted to when it's dark outside. Doesn't mean that, you know, that you're a bad person. This is like the thing I explained you with the 4 seasons of the universe. And now we're living in the darkest age. Doesn't mean because we're living in the darkest age, I have to do bad things, because darkness isn't bad. It's just the word, the energy behind it, the purpose that it has, and we take our lessons or experiences that we had with it because we were educated something dark is gonna happen, it's bad. It's not. Something dark is gonna happen could be when a really black baby is born. It's black. It's really like, like KRS One said, indigo black. So that's beautiful. Or the earth, when you go deeper, it's dark. It's nice. It's the earth. Fruits and everything come out of it. So it's just your perception, how you take your reality in. And I want to urge you all to study more for yourself. You don't have to go deep into mathematics to understand things. Let me explain you one single example, one single not story, but one single equation. Let's call it an equation because 1 plus 1 for me it's an equation. So 1, the human being, plus 1, the animal, equals existence. Okay? But we are eating animals. Now, no offense to all of you who eat meat, still respect, but human minus the animal is 1 minus 1. 0. Nothing. We achieved nothing. We're back to 0. 0 has no value of itself. It's a number without value. So we can start again from ground 0. Animal minus the human is 0 again. So you see. But the animal and the human being, they have a relationship. And it's, if we observe it, watch how we have the relationship. I don't say that we're just eating the animals. There are people who love animals who even are with lions. They that when the lion was small, he was with him, and he, even when he grows, he doesn't eat him because he loves him. And this is where we are going, okay? Because it's not gonna be all that I'm gonna eat that, because there are other nutritions that you can take that are much better than that meat. Okay, this is just a fact, because you know what meat has and what affects the heart, and you know that besides that physical fact, one life needed to be ended for that. Well, I think to eat meat, if you really can't resist, wait until you find that animal. But you wouldn't eat that, because you would say like, oh, there may be sickness and so on. Like I'm telling you, it's all the thing that you perceive, When the animal died, if you really want to eat meat, the universe is going to bring you the meat. But you will have to understand the reason behind it. So even if I see a dead animal, I would, if I could, bury it or just burn it, because fire purifies. We have all these elements even in the zodiac signs, okay? We have water, we have fire, we have air, and we have earth. And this is what I said before. The problem I have these 3 signs that are all based on earth. I'm an earth person. I'm like to stand in life. I like to have something stable. The other thing is, I'm like, earthy people really are attracted to material things, but I transcended that. I put everything I buy a spiritual meaning behind it. Why do I buy that? Because it has a spiritual meaning. It comes from the spiritual world first before I will get the material form out of it. Like with all these constellations I'm buying right now from the Senseiya movie or series. what I like about these three signs with me is what I observed again is that when I think about all these elements, we have water, we have fire, we have air, and we have earth. Well, there is a fifth one, is the ether, but that's another story. That's all around the world. It's all around the planet. It's well, I can tell you that it's a source of energy that already existed since ever, because it's the universe itself. So these four elements, if I think about air, I have air on planet Earth. Fire. People make fire on planet Earth, but inside the core of the Earth there is fire, and it's really hot in there. They say it's the really inner core of planet Earth is as hot as the surface of the sun. So that's why I'm saying you cannot hurt the planet. When you feel bad like how we treat our world, do something about it. Ask for forgiveness for the planet if you start to realize that. Act if you find some garbage on the street, even if it's on the concrete street. Bring some order into it. It doesn't belong there. There are garbages where you can put it because it will be burned again and recycled, even if it pollutes the atmosphere, because we don't have the technology to recycle, and we live in this material society with all these different elements that we don't understand, and that we don't know how they act when they are burned, and maybe even say, okay, we take the risk to pollute because we need it. But pick it up, put it in the garbage. We here in Switzerland, we recycle the bottles, like I told you. These bottles in Germany, they have a value. You don't squeeze them. Every time I go to Germany for some further instructions for my job, let's just say some how you call it, an interaction with people that built the truck that I'm working with. Going to these teachings, I call it teachings because they teach me, they know better than I do. So when I go there, I squeeze it always when I'm finished because I do it all the time. This will come back to the habit. So because I was not aware of that in Germany, and I always forget it because I don't live there. So you see, with crossing borders, so then I always blow air in that like this, So yeah, I put it back. I'm sorry, I didn't know. But here we squeeze it. We put it back into a plastic bag, and we give it back, and it gets recycled. I like that really because we have a nice recycling system. Don't say we're perfect. We're not, because if you look at the suicide rate, Switzerland is really on the top of it. And so I just want to tell you, if you wake up, go deeper and say, yeah, I'm gonna change it, but I change myself, because you don't need to change the world. You need to change yourself so people can see it. When they see it, they already will, let's just say, get used to it. When they get used to it, to see you do it like that, even if they have their own habits, it's already in their subconscious mind. You already did your job. You don't have to preach nothing, because you already set something that they see. Like if you see children, they see something and perceive it through television. They are, like, wow, some people, wow, my movie's coming, and they're happy. Because sight, it affects you really deep. So back to the elements, you see how I go far. So just for further videos, if you watch them and you see a part, something I explained and I didn't finish it at all, that you couldn't understand what I want to say with it, write it in the comments, email me, One Man Army, all without space, one man men army at gmx.ch. I'll be happy to do a video about it, just for that purpose if you want, or if you like other subjects, other words that we like to discuss. It's like I'm discussing that with you. I'm not teaching you. It's like I'm just giving you, like I said, information, okay? So back to the elements, to not lose what I want to say is that the Earth's core is as hot as the surface of the sun, okay? We don't have to go into degrees how much that is. It's actually, in our calculation, 6,000 degrees Celsius. In Fahrenheit, it's about, I think, 2,200, 1,500 Fahrenheit, something like that. So you know that there everything melts. I heard from a friend, that's an information again, that they try to go down, dig a tunnel into the Earth's core until their diamond driller melt. What a surprise! What do you think? You don't have the material that will resist that. It's the surface of the sun. You go close to the sun, you burn. Icarus did that. Well, there we're coming back to the Phoenix, but that's another subject. Anyway, we have the water. Our planet is like 90% almost water. It's on the Earth. So every element are realized in the zodiac sign, but you still have the Earth. Everybody thinks, yes, air, I can fly. Yes, water, I can swim. That's the origin of life. And it's true, microorganism raised from the water, but what is in the water deep down, the darkness, and so on. The Earth sign. That's why I'm happy with it. I don't put myself on top on other elements, but I know that the Earth, like if you put a fire on the top and you put the Earth over it, you take some, soil, put it on the top, the fire will cease. The water, if you put water, no matter how much amount the Earth takes it in. And the other thing is the wind. If you go into a cave when there's a storm, you'll be protected. You're inside the Earth. So with something protective, always the Earth. Okay? This is what I want to urge you. But don't forget the other elements. They're important too. Because fire purifies. Water is like, we need water to live. And actually, I missed my bottle. Anyway, we need to understand all that from observing stuff, from observing the universe, and you see always a deeper meaning behind it. Higher civilizations, ancient civilizations like the Sumerians, how did they reach? And it was a sudden civilization, like Zechariah Sitchin said in his books, rest in peace by the way, really deep scholar about ancient Babylon. And we need to understand that they didn't just come out of nothing. If you observe, I promise you that you have results in no time. You don't have to study 5 years. You just have to observe. And from observe, you give it to the spirit. And there is where it goes much faster. So you have it in no time. But you need to access through your spirit. And when you have that, you have everything. How can they build accurately villages in harmony with the stars, the constellations, Orion. You know what I mean? How you do that? You don't even fly. How can you do that by just looking up? Okay, here is this star. We put that one here. Okay, you guys, you can build here. But the guys who build, how they want to, orientate that. How, the orientation, this is all a matter of perception, and perspective, of course. So it's not anymore about learning something or just look at something or to listen to something. Is to observe, because when you observe, you're doing all that together. You observe with your eyes, you observe, but at the same time you listen. You smell at the same time. Even if there is no smell, you're still breathing, but there's a process of breathing air, okay? You don't talk, but you think in yourself, and you're talking to yourself. So you observe, you say like, I'm looking at the camera, but now the thoughts start to go like, how does it work? How did they build? Why does it have full HD? What is full HD? And so on, This is how everything goes further. And with observance, when you observe something, you just go far. Telling you that. You can, this is the other thing why I can't have a child. Not only because with the civilization, I don't want to always blame the civilization. Actually, I don't blame it. I say it's a fact. I accept the state I'm in, and I do something different, okay? But I don't have a child because I need to teach the child, or at least learn from the child. But as long as I'm not fully spiritual, I can't have a child. Because if I want to say something to the child, it could come the wrong way, and I'm not fully knowledged. I don't have the knowledge to teach a child. Because when my child is going to ask me something, I want to give a sincere answer without any lies. It's like when your child asks you, really, on Christmas, who brings the presents? Or in Easter, who brings the Easter egg? And so on, You need to be sincere about that. By that, I don't judge the way you educate your children. Know that. Because everybody is individual. They can do whatever you do. But if you do it accordingly to traditions, you're doing it accordingly to something that exists. If you don't ask yourself about that tradition, where it's coming from, what sense, and so on. It's nice that children have fantasies. But their fantasies must rely on principles and reality itself. You cannot educate your children and say it's like that, but it's not happening. When they will find out there is no Santa Claus, what's going to happen? My parents lied to me. You know what I mean? We can't lie to our children. We cannot lie even to ourselves. We cannot lie to ourselves because it will deny who we are. This is what I meant with mental slavery. You will do something, you actually don't do it normally. You're just complete out of order. You're not yourself. So we need to understand all that, to observe, to go further, higher learning, and out of that will come a new consciousness where we can create a new society where everybody has a place in it. Nobody gets excluded. I don't like that. When somebody stands in a corner, I don't like that. I was once in Zurich on a hip-hop concert from some Swiss guys. It was a nice concert. Nice performance. And on that concert, there was a guy with a sweatshirt, a hoodie, and on his hoodie it was written, "I am Satan." And I'm really deep into God, but I talked the whole night with this guy in the corner, just we two. And this is what I say to all of you. Don't exclude people just because they look different, just because they have another way of living. Nobody will force you to accept his living. This is the same with the cultures and the religions. They can live in peace while doing their thing for themselves. You can be a friend of a Christian if you're a Muslim and the opposite of it, or a Hindu, but you don't have to go and do the same rituals, because God put the rituals for them in this wise, or the universe in this side to approach him that way, and you approach it this way. It doesn't matter. But when you start to say your way is wrong, is where you start to judge and you start to limit yourself and God again. The bad thing about is by judging is not to limit yourself. That's one thing, but you limit God. And people call it blasphemy, but believe me, God is never offended. He's just laughing. And at the same time, brings new energy that you will understand, because God is eternal happiness. Like I said, when I had my tears in my eyes. This is infinite power. This is something you cannot understand through rational mind. You have to feel it inside of your heart, where God's reside within you. There where we start to get metaphysical, because it goes beyond physics. You can't open a human body when it's dead and watch inside of the heart. You will not find God there. You can't find it physically. You will find patterns of it. And when you see these patterns, beware, because this is the core. Of course, everything we perceive, our reality, we create it through the brain. It's like that's praise, but the heart is that keeps the whole body functioning. Bam, bam, bam. You're still breathing. If the heart doesn't beat again, you're dead. So that's why this saying, have a heart for animals, have a heart for children, have the love for that. And there's nothing wrong with it. We started to connect the word love with the symbol of the heart. Okay, and that heart, how is this structure made? This symbol of the heart is like two sides going back again here and here. So you start somewhere, you going out, and you coming back again, or the other way, doesn't matter. They always touch again. So no matter which way you go, you always come to the same conclusion. You come to the same denominator, because it's always there, the constant line. What I liked about Guru from Gangstar, rest in peace, I liked when he said monotone, you know. His voice, really, you heard it. It was always the same, but they kept knowledge out of it. You know, really, that was knowledge. That was not information. This is really knowledge. What I'm telling you right now is just information. But these are masters of themselves. Because he came from Boston all the way to New York. He was like crossing a border, but he didn't harm people there. He brought teachings, you know. And this is the way we should travel. When you go somewhere, be aware that the natives there should be respected. Because when you go to other countries, here in Switzerland, it's a little bit different. And I don't say these are bad people here. This is just a different way of living. But in other countries, when you come, even here are some people, they do that. You're just welcome, you know. They invite you, they give you food, they say, I'm going to pay for that. No, we don't want that. This is how the universe works. Hospitality, you see? But a hospital is somewhere where the sick get healed. We wouldn't have sickness if we all would be more hospital to others, to take them in and say, you're welcome, you can share with me my home. Feel free. Now we have the other thing. Why do we don't invite anybody here? Because we know that maybe they're going to steal something from you. And there we're coming back to the fear. This is not something, ridiculous. You need to understand the fear. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King and even Michael Julius Tellinger tell us that an ancient spiritual teachers told us that you don't have to fear unless fear itself. But I want to go further that. You don't have to fear because it's just a word. It expresses something. I call it more to be humble so you don't have to fear. Because when you meet a more powerful opponent and you're humble, he can disrespect you. You will not react. This is what Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Mahatma Gandhi did with the non-violent movement. They were humble. They took the beatings. And it was a powerful movement. You see, even he spoke on the Abraham Lincoln Memorial. My God, I dream of that. Being in front of the president that enslaved America. So you need to see that it doesn't matter from which country you are. People say, in America, people don't have the good education we have here, and so on, or they are stronger than we are. It doesn't matter. It's what you do, not how strong you are, because there will be always a stronger one. This is what I can assure you. And not only that, there will be always a wiser one. In this society, there will be a sicker one. Always. But I actually don't let myself affect of it, because I know the universe has its purpose. And if somebody would come and want to harm me, I will say, I will forgive you. But now, run. Because I will come back. And not hunting him, but run. Because at the moment when I'm coming back from the dead, it's not going to be funny. Because I want then, to show people that it's possible to live without violence. Because we don't know really the word violence. Scientists say if we observe the universe, we see the universe is violent. The universe just shows us the power. But we can see that far with our observatory. We can't go that far there's no limits in space. We don't know what happens far away. We just observe here in the close range, million light years or billion light years, and with the new observatories they have, stars explode. But do you see inside of our galaxy where there is the Sagittarius A star, a large black hole that swallows everything, but we are still here? So that's what I'm saying. If the stars want, we will perish inside that black hole easily. The universe is communicating with itself. This is communication. You need to observe that. You know that communication is not only based on audio. It's a vibe. So this is what I want to say when the stars, like when I said that I hear the stars saying we're too loud. We're making too much noise. Not like the Aborigines and the Native Americans and all other highly spiritual cultures who drum, for the earth, for the universe, for its development. This is where need to understand that the universe is merciful, but at the same time, it can really be something horrible to you if you're not ready to get that you are a part of it and you are not almighty. You are not almighty. You are infinite, yes, but you are not almighty. You are not in everybody's heart like God is. Now, see the burdens there that God has to know everything a human being or an individual or an energy feels and perceives. Imagine that if you could perceive only from 20 people around the earth. You just take somebody from the ghetto, from the favelas. You take somebody on the highest rank in the government. You take somebody living in the water, a creature deep in the water which not discovered. And you feel all that at the same time because you are inside of it. That's what the only thing, one of the thing, the most thing that I like about Bruce Almighty is when Morgan Freeman, that represents God in this movie, says, now you take my job. It's not that easy, you know. It's just like I said, in all these movies, Hollywood isn't a bad thing. The bad thing is your perception. You need to understand behind it, okay? This is just a movie. But if you see the universe speaking true, you understand. Because God is telling you, now, you should be happy that you are not almighty. You should understand that you have to be happy. You don't have to be in everybody's heart. You can be in everybody's heart through the mercy of God. But then it comes back to His mercy. That's why you can do it. Without it, you can't. So that's why I'm saying to you that violence right now on the stage we are, no matter how much torture is going on, know that the universe can torture you in ways that goes beyond that. Because something else is to harm a physical body, but God is the creator of your soul. And he will not harm your soul, but take your soul through experience again and again in different ways until you understand to give up, surrender, and learn that you can be welcomed and not only tolerated in the universe. This is what we have to understand. So, back to observe. When we know that the universe communicates, we need to understand that there is an organization, there is an order, and you can call it that governs, a government. You know, this is just reflections of the universe. This is like, you know, civilization. Civilization, okay? Because we are civilized. We're not some bunch of savages, but now back to the bunch of savages. They need to be there that we realize that we are civilized. So when you say a bunch of savages, why you don't take bunch away and you say some savages? Because to be savage, if we take it in hip-hop language, is to be dope. To be savage, something was nice, you know, it was really intense. You're savage, man, you know. And this is what Fura said in his rhyme when he said, like, we were brought here by savage pirates. Yeah, they were savage because they knew how to bring other people across, you know, take them from their homeland. And this is what KRS-One said, they let them because nobody else gonna enslave you than you yourself. Because you can defend yourself. But we need the understanding of it. Because imagine that. If we're going back to that timeline in history where Spanish and Portuguese conquistadors uh, went to West Africa and to Senegal and took them as slaves. Imagine if these people had the knowledge of teleportation, of telekinetics, of all of that. That would be different. You know? They would like run away back to their ships and so on. But it had to happen because universe has a sense of it. And now you see, Afro-American people are strong people. They are not like that when something bad happened that they let their head down. No, they stand upright and keep going. Take a look at all the hip-hop movement, how it came to be with Africa Bambaataa, travel the world, coming back before a gang member, then coming back, unite all the gangs, finish with violence. This is upright God. So what I want to say is, and remind you that Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, and I say that all the time because right here, I can show you that. Let me just, I can point on it, but you can see this poster, you can watch it, maybe online you will find it, I'm sure. Right here on the bottom of it, well actually it says free at last. Sorry I can't watch right now, I'm going to read you what it's written. When we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up the day when all of God's children will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, thanks God Almighty, we are free at last. And on the bottom of it, Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. But I address him as a doctor because he has the degree in theology, and that is the study of God. That's the science of God. So he is a healer. That's a shaman. Somebody that comes and even don't have to touch you with your hands to heal you. This is something really metaphysical you wouldn't understand. A doctor doesn't only heal through injections or the way we know now our medical ways we have nowadays. We heal different. We heal from inside out. We don't, the physical body is one thing, but that is not the root. So as long you don't heal the root, the tree will still be sick. Doesn't bring nothing if you put chemicals on it. You need to understand that. So, when we go into that, what Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said, that we can be free, and it's like that. He came out of slavery, but he was standing on the end in front of the Abraham Lincoln Memorial. How much more proof do you need that the human being is capable of more? And he said that white supremacy or black supremacy, it's both dangerous. We need an equality. We need to watch beyond it. What he wanted to say with that, because if you see a lecture of KRS-One, he said that the white supremacist is nothing bad. That's right. Because something bad can't be supreme. Something that is based on hate, like I don't like that race, is not stable. Is not stable. You saw that. And Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. also said that it's not about, he wants that his 4 children live in the world where you're not judged by the skin of the color of your skin or the color of your eyes, but based on your character and judged. I don't think that he meant that you are just, judged in the way we know the word judge. Okay, it's like just that I see the character and I see that it has need of further development in let's just say science, because he has a lot of love, or he is really scientifical but he needs love, and so on. So to see the need, of the individual, that's what I think he meant. I can tell you that because he's not here anymore physically, but he's here with his energy and spiritually, and I think he meant that we understand that everybody can contribute to another. Somebody is better in mathematics, the other is better in biology. The other is better in chemistry, and the other is better in theology, and so on. Because you're attracted to that. And when you go and master your skill, you will see that everything is connected in the skill. So we will not call it anymore biology, it's the universal arts. There are martial arts, but what I refer to here is the universal arts. Hip hop. This is a universal art. This is God who came through. Because hip hop, as you study and even listen to KRS-One and all other teachers in hip hop who stayed true when the people came, I'll pay you that for your rhyme and this verse and so on. No, we stay true to our culture. These are the original, is like the really, I call themselves myself the Council of Elders of Hip Hop. Because they have a higher understanding. And if you look at hip hop and listen to them, how it came to be, it's all based on non-profit. Okay? Because Grandmaster Flash was, I think, the one that invented the fader and get no money out of it, but he gave it free to the community. So you see there the consciousness. So let's grow on it, is what he said. Let's grow on that. It's for you. Here. It's like the album of Killer Priest, The Offering. Here, it's for you. There will be always people misusing knowledge, but it's not going to be stable because they don't understand it. Because, well, they understand it, but they don't overstand it. Because the spiritual meaning behind it is not caught. They just take a look at the structure physically, with only one part of their brain. Where you, I think one side of the brain is for fantasy and the other is the logical part. So when you go with only one part of your brain, you ignore the other. And opposite. If you go too much fantasy, you're going to lose the reality you're living in and accept the state of being that you are right now. So you need the balance of it, and that's where we're coming back to the Libra. And we need to understand that we can't go on by just saying, well, like I told my mother yesterday, not yesterday, it was last week or something, or 2 weeks ago, I don't know exactly, because it's like the time actually doesn't matter. What matters is what I said. And I said that in Paris there was a priest that was killed by the IS, okay? So by terrorists. It doesn't matter how we call it, they always have different names. He was killed, and it was like 80 or something, 85, and yeah, it's rest in peace, because that's It's a priest, you know what I mean? It's a man of God. And after that, I saw that I usually actually I don't watch television. If I watch something, I watch it online because I can go specific to that what I want to watch. And I recommend you one movie. You have to know that that it's a lot of action and that Hollywood stuff. You have that. It's always there, but you need to see the meaning behind it. And it's called I think the Zodiac, the sign of the apocalypse. Check that out. Is I think from 2014 the movie. Really deep. I'm telling you straight, because this is what I'm telling you about the constellation. And next week I'm gonna get the microphone that I need for better quality, and I'm gonna talk about zodiacs. And you need to see that. But back to the priest, because it's really sad, but I know he's still alive. Spiritually, his energy isn't gone, and he's a martyr for something, and you have to see what happened. So when I watched TV, I saw in the news that even Muslims contributed to his burial. So they were there. They were there in the church for his the attendance, the mass for him. So you see, and just before that happened, I told my mother that actually it's possible that religions unite. And she said, no, it's not possible. I say, stop that. I can't hear it anymore. You can. Nobody's going to stop that, because it's already connected in the core of it. We have the denominator. Allah is Almighty. God, Yahweh, is Almighty. Krishna, Vishnu is Almighty. Adibara Sakti is Almighty. It's always the same. So you can't stop something that is already existing. You cannot. Because it existed only material. It exists spiritually. And I ask for forgiveness for these terrorists. Because if we're going to judge again, we're at the same point back there like when we had Jesus. So we are going nowhere. This is what Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said. We need to learn to live together. Because if we don't, we will all perish together as fools. As fools. Because we're foolish if we start to judge. But it's hard to forgive. It's hard to love. I know that. But I want to tell you that like KRS once said in his lectures, you can't really die. Because when you say something, when you say universe, you can say it with your mouth, but I can say it right now without that you hear it. Like now. 3, 2, 1. I said universe, but you didn't hear it. So that's where we're going. This is metaphysics, you know. This is what I, when I listened to KRS-One and I got that, I was like, wow. And he said he actually learned that from somebody from the other side. Well, now we go in deep. If he learned it from someone on the other side, and he said, take that into your vocabulary, mediumship. But actually I like medium shift, because I'm going to shift to a medium. So the current state we are living right now, and there is no offense in it, is there is this word, and I know from different lyrics that I heard that it's like an offense and something not nice to say, but we have to accept, and I include myself, that right now, but not include other people who are on higher consciousness, when I say that we are on a state of where we are low lives. Why? Because we live in low. We can achieve more. It is possible. So when we can achieve more, but we're living not the way we should, we're low because we can go higher. But when we don't be mad when you are called a low life. But for me, a child in the ghetto isn't the low life. It's just a being. Okay? It's just another human being, another spiritual being in need of help. Instead of judging, I do something about it. Well, there's a saying of Mahatma Gandhi, is just in German here. I have it on a sugar packet. I get it when I was with my friends. When I was visiting a friend and staying there, we're going to eat something after that. After dinner, we had dessert, and then I just ordered my tea that I always need. And it says in German that you have to be the change that you wish for this world to be. So, very deep. Be the change that you want for this world to be. Be the change to be. So, be or not to be, as Shakespeare said. This is just a question. Because even he said, there is more between heaven and earth that we can imagine. Because, why? Because we limit our imagination. Now back to the word image. What is an image? You see me, you think that is my image? It is not. It is the content and the lyrics that you hear. This is my imagination. This is my image. This is my record, and this is who I am. This is what I speak. It is for me the truth. I accept it as the truth. For me, God is a living being. Exists, always nurturing anybody, anything in the universe, things we don't even know yet. He's already nurturing there and helping and doing stuff. You don't know that because, let's say, we don't know that. I don't want to put myself above you. So we need to go to that certain point of observing where we can get a conclusion out of it and say, right, it's like that. That's when you observe, you say like, okay, I'm living in a society where I need to work, where maybe I'm just a number in the system, where money enslaved us, and so on, all the bad stuff. But I accept it and I do something out of it. Because otherwise we're going nowhere. If you don't change, nothing's going to happen. But if you change, nobody tells you that it's going to be better, but it's going to change. But it's going to be better if it's good for all. Because when it's not good for all, it's not good at all. And we're going back to contributism. Contribute means to not con people, but with attribute. Attribute. Okay? Did you pay your tribute? That is from ancient days. What is a tribute? Okay? Now let me help you. Because right now I'm going into, I don't want to put all these words that I have to be, like to get too logical. I go directly and show you that right now we're going into the dictionary in Google. When I write tribute, meaning or definition. Let's see what a tribute is. You always have the translation and more definitions. If you put there, you get scared. Sometimes you have a lot of meanings. Well, first of all, it's an act, a statement, or gift that is intended to show gratitude, respect, or admiration. Okay? That's a tribute. Contribute. With a tribute, you show somebody that you appreciate or you gratitude him. So we cannot contribute to a murderer or contribute to somebody that hurts children. No, we can't. We can't accept what he's doing. But we need to contribute to his soul, that he's going to be saved in his next life. And we need to forgive, because otherwise we are not contributing to a society where we want to live, where people can go, like I said, to other dimensions, coming back, being integrated again, and working properly in forgiveness. So the next thing is something resulting from a particular quality or future and indicating its worth. Something resulting from a particular quality. It's resulting from a quality. Quality or future, not future like the future, featured, and indicating its worth. So attribute is something resulting from a quality and showing the worth of the quality. You understand? This is definition. This is logical. Now we put it back to the spirit, to the fantasy, and we go like nuts. You can go and go. That's what I'm telling you. We're going around. The other thing is payment made periodically by one state or ruler to another, especially a sign of dependence. Okay? Well, if you contribute to the universe, you show the universe that you depend on it, because you lived your life without accepting the universe as your source, and you saw what came out of it. Don't be dependent on other people. Be dependent on the universe. Contribute first to the universe and then to your community, to your environment. And that's historical, by the way. It's always written, sometimes informal, biology, where the sense is coming from or the meaning of it. And the next thing is historical again. It's a proportion of one or its equivalent. A proportion or its equivalent. Paid to a miner for his work, or to the owner or lessor of a mine. And now we're getting interesting when we're going into the origin of the word, because it's written it too. And I really have to say, technology nowadays is nothing bad. You need to use it wisely and you can rise to the top. So in the Latin word, it's tribus. It's tribe. So you contribute to your tribe, to your civilization. So when we're going to tribe, it's coming from tree. And what do we have? We have mind, soul, and body. Like the song of the high and the mighty. I represent true mind, soul, and body. Okay? We have these three things. So, then it goes back to, comes from tribus, tribe, going to tribuere, a sign, from tributum, tribute. So, as you see, if we learn the language we speak, we can transcend that to a higher knowledge, to a higher understanding. So we know now that tribute means a quality that's showing its worth. So you contribute even to your tribe. So I think in ancient times, when there were these Native Americans running around having horses and drumming, they were contributing to the universe and they had their peace. between each other's tribe. And now don't misunderstand. In every culture, you will have a being that is not ready for this universal understanding and will bring misunderstanding. But if you take it as an act of war, as an act of offense, and take from the offense war out of it, that's the only solution. I'm going to show him that he can't do that with me because you're too proud. You're going back to where you can reach a higher state of mind. And then some people say, well, so I don't rise to a higher state of mind. Okay, that's your will. Go disconnect from the universe and come back later. You will be welcome. But the state you are in right now, you're just tolerated. Okay? You need to understand that. I don't want to put myself above you and say, I am welcome, you were just tolerated. And he will tell you, who's telling you that you are welcome and you are, that I am just tolerated. Maybe I am welcome and you are just tolerated. Well, I say, no, I feel it. And there we're coming back to the feeling, to the love, to Babylon. Don't let your babies be lonely. Take them with you. When you know you want the child, it's gonna be with you. In Africa, they carry them with the towels and all that, you know. They always have their child with them, the mother. Maybe even the father, who tells that it's just be the mother. It's just like with the parent, with the part of the parent, the father or the mother or both, because when there is an absence of the other part of the parent, doesn't matter, because spiritually they already are with their children. So I want to urge you to observe, like I said right now, when we say contribute, well, I know what contribute means, but where does it come from? The origin. It comes from tribe. It comes from the universe. Be tree. Tree, not written with like the word THREE. It's tree. It's from Latin, and be tree. Now it's mixed with English and Latin. So be tree. Be your mind, soul, and body. Because if you take just the body, you're going to be an ego. You're going to be disconnected from the universe. You will not find your purpose in life. You will get into materialism, which holds you down, which will not make you happy. Once you have it, you want more. And once you have more, you want more and more, and there's an endless cycle. When you're just in the mind, you forget about your body. If you are in the mind and you appreciate your body, is different. And when you know your soul, you know the origin, where we're coming from, you are yourself, and you develop to a higher consciousness. So I'm going to end this now and telling you that we started with observe and we ended with contribute. So observe and contribute. It's like when you observe, you already are contributing, because you are rising to a higher state of mind. Because you don't look anymore, you just don't look anymore at other objects, subjects, or the environment. You start to transcendentally understand, because when you observe, all your senses are concentrated on that very divine spot. So what I'm saying is, peace. Thanks for watching. KAA back soon. And be safe. Be with God. Or if you're an atheist, be with the universe. Be with your environment. And yeah. See you next time.